Today we'll be taking a look at the results we have so far for the Georgia runoff elections on January 5th between David Perdue and Jon Ossoff, as well as between Kelly Loeffler and Raphael Warnock. So taking a look at the results from the general election held on November 3rd for the Georgia regular Senate election between incumbent David Perdue and Democratic challenger Jon Ossoff, Perdue was able to carry 49.7% of the votes, just 0.3% away from the 50% needed to win this race outright. Jon Ossoff carried 47.9%, 1.8% behind the incumbent, winning 2.3 million votes. Just 88,098 votes separated the two candidates, and also Libertarian candidate Shane Hazel received 115,000 votes, which corresponds to just 2.3% of the total votes. The U.S. Senate special election held on November 3rd was also very far away from that 50% threshold for both candidates. Kelly Loeffler won 25.9%. She is the incumbent senator from the state of Georgia, appointed just a little bit over a year ago to fill the seat of Republican Johnny Isakson, who resigned due to health issues. He was appointed by Brian Kemp. And Raphael Warnock was able to carry 32.9% of the estimated votes, or 1.6 million, and also Republican candidate Doug Collins received 980,000 votes, which corresponds to exactly 20%. So with over 4.9 million votes cast, neither candidate was able to reach even close to that 50% threshold, which is why this race has also gone to a runoff between Loeffler and Warnock. So this right here is the current Senate map. As you can see, the Senate Democrats currently control 48 seats, the Republicans with 50. As you can see, there are still those 2 seats in Georgia that are yet to be decided. Democrats need 50 seats for a majority, while Republicans need 51, because Democrats will have control of the vice presidency when Kamala Harris will break all the ties that occur in the Senate. And so what I have done for this video is I have taken a look at the turnout for every single county and also used the results that we saw between Jon Ossoff and David Perdue in the general election to form results for each and every county. Now what this does is it tests the turnout for each county. Because both candidates have enough votes to win, the turnout is definitely going to be lower than that of the general election. However, what this race is really about is which candidates can get more voters who voted for them last time to come out and vote for them once again. And every single county that voted for Jon Ossoff is highlighted in yellow because there are just so few of them. Every single county that is not highlighted voted for David Perdue. So these counties, as you can see, Clayton County, that's a major one right there, 44,000 votes for Jon Ossoff. David Perdue, of course, carrying all of the rural counties from the state of Georgia. There are 159 counties, and this page shows only the first 32 of them. And as you can see, the Republican David Perdue has 176,000 votes from this page alone to Jon Ossoff's 151,000. Now the second page of county results, as you can see, DeKalb County, 152,000 votes for Jon Ossoff. That is a major county right next to the city of Atlanta, as well as Fulton County, which the majority of Jon Ossoff's votes are coming from. 189,000 votes for him there. That is the county where Atlanta is actually located in. And this page has 514,000 votes for Jon Ossoff to 378 for David Perdue. And the third page here, we have 6 counties that voted for Jon Ossoff, and on this page of county results, we have 231,000 votes for David Perdue to 201,000 for Ossoff. And the next page, we have another 6 counties on this page that voted for Jon Ossoff out of the 32 on this page. So that is just how many counties David Perdue has been able to win in the state of Georgia. He has been able to win 132,000 votes from this page to Jon Ossoff's 99,000. And for anyone who has been keeping track, you know this race is very close. And on this final page, 91,000 votes for David Perdue to 40,000 for Jon Ossoff. So this race is within 2,000 votes. However, according to these results that we have right here, Jon Ossoff is the projected winner of the state of Georgia and its Senate seat. He will win his first 6-year term until 2026, and this is a major gain for the Democratic Party. And we can also project that Raphael Warnock will win the U.S. Senate special election against Kelly Loeffler. He has been expected to do quite a bit better than his Democratic counterpart Jon Ossoff, just because he is running against the weaker out of the two Republican candidates. So this is another gain for the Democratic Party. That is a gain of net 2 seats just from today alone, and a total of 3 net gains for the Democratic Party in general for the 2020 Senate elections. And these are the results after we calculate the sum of the county results for both David Perdue and Jon Ossoff. Jon Ossoff winning the race by 1,454 votes. As you can see, this race is so close that they both technically win 50.0% of the vote. Jon Ossoff winning 10,223 votes over that million mark, to David Perdue with 8,769 votes over 1 million. And there are only 2 candidates in this race, so Shane Hazel, the Libertarian candidate, will not receive any votes in this two-way race, and Jon Ossoff, with that slight 1.4 thousand vote edge over David Perdue, will flip the state of Georgia and win its first Senate seat for a Democrat in over 3 decades. And the U.S. Senate special election, this is just a projection based off of the results that we got between Ossoff and Perdue, because as I think most of us can all agree, Raphael Warnock is going to overperform Jon Ossoff's margin. So we have 50.5% for the Reverend here with 1,019,590 votes, to Kelly Loeffler at 49.5%, just 508,000 votes under the million mark at 999,492 votes. So this race is also very close, just a margin of 1%. However, Raphael Warnock has also made history here with Jon Ossoff winning the Senate seat in the state of Georgia, and this is the first time that 2 Democrats have held the 2 Senate seats from the state of Georgia since the Truman era. So with these 2 gains, Democrats have gained a net 3 seats in the United States Senate, and the Democrats have flipped the Senate for the first time in over 6 years. So this is a big deal for the Democratic Party. It seemed that it could not be done early on after the general election. However, Democrats have overcome the impossible. They have flipped both seats in the state of Georgia, as well as Joe Biden flipping the state on the presidential level, making Georgia now a very, very close race between the Republicans and Democrats. This used to be a major Republican stronghold. However, this state is now moving more and more to the left, and 2020 is a very, very good example of that occurring. So 3 net gains for the Democratic Party. The Senate map now sits at 50 seats to the Democrats to 50 seats for the Republicans, but Democrats now have control because Kamala Harris, the Vice President-elect of the United States, will in the future break all the ties that occur in the Senate for the Democratic Party. Now, before we continue this video, make sure you join my Discord server if you have not, the link to which is at the very top of the description below. So essentially what I did in this video is these are the results between David Perdue and Jon Ossoff for the Senate election on November 3rd, and as you can see, there's results for each county, and this race, as I've said many times, is just a race of turnout. So what I've done is I've taken a look at the early voting statistics using the total votes cast per county. As you can see, they're all listed down here as of right now. This is all up to date, and what I did is I used these total votes and then used the percentage won by each candidate in each county, and that's how I got county results for every single county. And I think that's a lot more accurate than just using demographics, because there are 159 counties in the state of Georgia. So this took a very, very long time to do, but since there are so many counties, there's less room for one error would make a much smaller difference than if you were to take a look at demographics. But the Democrats did win more votes overall if you were to take a look at the turnout, and this is just because there is higher turnout among Democratic counties. As you can see, the average turnout is 27.5% right there. However, if you were to take a look at the largest county, Fulton County, that is a Democratic county, the turnout is 33.1%. Fayette County, another Democratic county, 33.8%. So the Democratic counties definitely have higher turnout than the turnout on average and the turnout for the Republican counties, which is why Jon Ossoff is doing so much better than he did in the regular election. And this, I think, is just a result of the fact that Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock have much higher enthusiasm among voters than David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler have. And although enthusiasm doesn't win you an election, I mean, Trump had a lot of enthusiasm, but he also did a lot better than many people expected, a lot better than the polls. He had the enthusiasm, and, he did quite well compared to what he was expected to do. So, and the polls in Georgia, they are quite accurate. Survey USA was pretty accurate nationwide, and they have both Ossoff and Warnock winning by pretty large margins. They're not going to win by the 5-7% I think they have it at, but it's a good sign for the Democrats. We're going to take a look at the polls in just a second here, but the polls in Georgia were pretty accurate. The national level, as we said many times, less than 1% off between Biden and Trump. So polls in Georgia really are not as bad as they are in many other states in the country, but as you can see, the turnout rate is just higher among Democratic counties, and that is what is really driving up those votes for Jon Ossoff. And then taking a look at the race ethnicity voting distribution, it's still pretty much the same thing, a little bit over half for the white vote, a little bit under a third for the black vote. And as you can see, the turnout rate for the black vote has overtaken the turnout rate for the white vote yesterday. When we took a look at this, it was a tie. And then the votes by age, you see that the amount of votes for the 66 and up is slowly declining, which is a good sign for the Democrats because those elderly voters tend to vote quite a bit more for the Republicans. So that number is slowly decreasing as more votes come in. So yeah, that's basically what I did, and that got me the results for all 159 counties. I had just added them all up, and that's how I got those final results. And those results, I mean, it's a 1,000 vote difference. It really is not going to matter. At this point, this race is a pure toss-up, and you do have the votes from Shane Hazel, who won 115,000 votes, and her voters are going to be the least enthusiastic about this race, so I expect turnout for those libertarian voters to plummet, which is why I really did not take into account those voters for her in this race. And also, I mean, it's just a really small amount, and you really don't know which way they're going to swing, so I just did not account for them at all. That's why the total votes that have actually gone in according to this is a little bit higher than that on the results that I presented you guys with just a couple moments ago. So, yeah, there's just 159 counties, and the turnout is much higher for those Democratic counties, which is why they are doing so well right now. And I do expect the Democrats to actually win more votes than they have as of right now, just because of the fact that they do have more enthusiasm behind them. And also, in this election, the whole controversy over early voting and mail-in ballots, I really do not think is a thing anymore. I mean, for Donald Trump, he was really the only one that had issues with it, and the other Republicans just followed. I think that in this election, we're not going to see as much of a red mirage. I think it's going to be pretty even based on, where the voters in each party, or when the voters in each party vote and how they vote. So I really don't think the early voting and mail-in ballots are really going to play a big part in what results we're going to see on the 5th of January for the Senate runoff elections. And finally, taking a look at the polls, currently David Perdue leads over Jon Ossoff by 0.1%. That is literally no margin. That is basically a tie statistically. This race has been statistically a tie basically since November 16th. The polls are just so close that there really is nobody that is leading. It's just going up and down. They're basically sitting at around 48% between Raphael Warnock and Kelly Loeffler. Raphael Warnock currently leads by 0.9%. It might be larger, but still, there is really no advantage that Warnock has over Loeffler. Really no new polls added. We saw those Survey USA polls showing Ossoff +5, Warnock +7, adjusted to +4 and +5 for Ossoff and Warnock respectively. And then these two latest polls showing Perdue leading, but Warnock also leading by the slightest margins possible. So this race is really, really close right now. It's a pure pure toss-up. I will be making a final Georgia Senate runoff election night very soon, as well as my final prediction for that. I might do a stream. Comment down below whether or not you guys want me to do a stream. I'm really not too sure about that, but I might if you guys want me to. And so yeah, that'll be it for this video. Make sure you join my Discord server if you have not. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think about the results that we have so far, what they mean, and of course comment down below who you think is going to win the runoff races, and subscribe to my channel if you have not for more daily political content, and I will see all of you guys in the next video.